the Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party in Congress released the donor list of who was paying $40,000 a plate. And you have the CEO of Amway, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, Lawrence Fink, BlackRock, Steven Schwarzman, Blackstone, all of these companies. This is just a few of them. You've got Gilead Services, you've got MasterCard, you've got Fulgent Genetics, all these huge companies, $40,000 a plate, and the organization putting it on, filled with globalists. This sums up the involvement of Wall Street and big business sucking up to Daddy Xi.
Absolutely. I mean, these globalists, they do not represent the American people's interest. I mean, they have been profiting from America's failed policy toward the communist China, and they have been profiting from the CCP's slave labor market. And that's why Tim Cook, he set up iPhone's biggest factory in the city of Zhengzhou, where they employ tens of thousands of Chinese slave labor. And so this is the reason why that the Wall Street did not want to decouple from the CCP, and they have paid big time to the Washington, D.C. lobbyists to influence the Biden administration, and they want to keep the appeasement policy toward the CCP.
We need to get away from relying on China, who wants to destroy us, start relying on ourselves. This is what Joe Biden said.
We're not trying to decouple from China, but what we're trying to do is change the relationship for the better. From my perspective, if in fact the Chinese people who are in trouble right now economically, if the average if the average citizen in China was able to have a decent paying job, that benefits them and it benefits all of us. But I'm not going to continue to sustain the support for positions where if we want to invest in China, we have to turn over all our trade secrets.
All right, so he mentions that at the very end, let's not turn over our trade. It's not turning over our trade secrets. They're stealing our trade secrets. And then he says he doesn't want to decouple and he wants all of this investment, yet China is doing everything it can to be the global leader, including ruining our dollar and them taking over international trade, Nicole.
Absolutely. You know what? When he talked about the Chinese people, I think this is so hypocritical, because it's exactly the Wall Street and America's failed policy toward the Communist Party that has led to the Chinese people's deteriorating human rights condition. And Chinese people are being paid like dirt by the corporate America, who are now paying $40,000 just to dine with Xi Jinping. And these corporate CEOs in America, they have done nothing to promote the human rights and freedom and democracy and individual liberty for the Chinese people. In fact, they have been funding the world's most powerful dictatorship. They have been funding the CCP's military modernization. They've been funding this totalitarian regime who has sponsored the Hamas surprise attack in Israel and Russia's invasion in Ukraine and the upcoming CCP's reunification effort to take over Taiwan by force.
Nicole, who were those people that were cheering him?
Grant, those people are all paid by the CCP's embassies and consulates, because we have intercepted some text messages sent through the CCP's consulate in LA and San Francisco. They're trying to mobilize the Chinese students studying in University of Southern California and UCLA and even University of San Francisco. So they tell the students, hey, this is a glorious historical mission for you to take on, to welcome Papa Xi. And the CCP spy operative offered the student very lucrative treatment, that is paid hotels and air flights, and also some cash rewards, about $400. That's a lot of money for a lot of the international students. And then there's also like a restriction that if students sign up, they cannot back off. If ever they back up, they face some serious consequences back home if they ever go back to China.
All right. So through the new federal state of China, through your sources, you uncovered some text messages. This is from a University of San Francisco Chinese student. It was a complaint message to the organizer of the welcome group for Xi's visit, and it reads, I am a student at the University of San Francisco. Today we took the big bus provided by the embassy to welcome Chairman Xi. We encountered unfair treatment. The embassy personnel told us the free lunch will be provided to only some students. Most students don't get it. We were promised to receive $400 award, but we only received $100. Some students wanted to withdraw, but were issued a direct warning that quitting will be recorded in their personnel files in China, which will affect their future in China, i.e. employment and residency. Now, Nicole, as an American, the last thing I heard of a personal file was when I was in junior high, and they threatened me that they would put it in my personal file. I never thought much of it. In China, though, a personal file is everything. This is the government has information on you. They could ruin your life. They were threatening these students, not to mention they stiffed them $300 that they promised them.
Yes, absolutely. You know, people hear about the social credit score, but very few people actually know that there's a secret personnel folder that is being kept by the CCP. Not the government, but the CCP. And so everybody in China has a secret file kept on you. And I think that if you get some negative comments on your personnel folder or file, you will have difficulty in finding a job or, you know, applying for a home mortgage loan and even find a residence. That's how the CCP controls the students. Even the international students studying outside of China, these students are facing serious consequence. And so this is why we're calling the CCP not as a government. They're mafia, the criminal organization, and they hijack the Chinese people to do bad things.